Hi, this is Robin Sampson with BibleJournalLove.com and HeartOfWisdom.com. Today I'm going to teach you how to Bible journal digitally in a traveler's notebook. This is the kit we'll be using that's included with the 12 Bible Eras Bible journaling class. You can find out more at BibleJournalLove.com. If you're going to do a paper traveler's notebook, this class will be meaningful to you, or if you're going to do it digitally, because I'm going to show you a way that you can cut your images to fit on the traveler's notebook page in a layout. Before we Bible journal the page, I wanted to show you how you could make a traveler's notebook template so that you can make your own traveler's notebook pages. And this will be very handy if you want to make to-do list or recipe list. So all you do is use mine as a template of sorts. I'm going to use the gray color. And then go to the shapes to the Draw Rectangle tool and start up in the corner and just draw a rectangle the same size as my rectangle, which happens to be 4.5 inches wide, 8.25 inches high. Then use a select tool, use Command J on a Mac or Control J on a PC to duplicate that and drag it over to the next one. Hide the background or delete the background, and then save this as a PSD with your file size. It won't be that big because these are both blank. Now you have a template. Now when you want to use this template, as soon as you open it up, you rename it. So you're going to put your recipes in it. Rename it Recipes and then close so the template does not get overwritten. If it does, you can always make another one because this is so simple. So I just wanted to show you that before we get started with the page because it's a real handy thing for you to have. Now let's go back to my Traveler's Notebook insert pages. If you don't like this one, if you don't care for this Traveler's Notebook background, go underneath the printables section and you'll see the folder that says Traveler's Notebook Backgrounds, TN Backgrounds, and you'll see there are several I've already made for you, so you can choose another background if you prefer. And I've already put the images in the photo bin, so basically I'm just going to drag and drop. And we want these people talking. And I did something cute here. I went over to, all you have to do is go to Google and type in Translate English to French and say whatever you want to say in it. I said, "What did you say? I don't understand." And this is the French version, and I'm going to copy and paste and put that into my Tower of Babel. I have a hand-written font that I like to use on my traveler's notebooks called Tippy. I'll go back to the photo bin and get another speech bubble and do the same thing, but this time I think we're going to do another language. Let's do Russian. Okay, now let's get the tower from the Tower of Babel and let's edit it a little bit. And now we're going to edit it. It's rasterized, so it should be pretty easy. I'm going to use the rectangular marquee tool to cut off the bottom. I need to stop and add a note here. Before you can cut an image, you must simplify the layer. If you hear me say rasterize, it's because I use Photoshop, and Photoshop says rasterize, but the Photoshop element term is simplify. So you go to Layer up in your toolbar and find the drop down that says Simplify Layer, and then you'll be able to manipulate your layer. Simplified. Apparently Photoshop Elements calls it simplified, not rasterized. Now it's gone. And I also want to take off the side. I'll use the rectangular marquee tool and hit Command X on a Mac or Command Control X on a PC I usually don't make an image bigger, but this was bigger in the kit. So it should be fine, plus it's a watercolor. So it shouldn't look blurry if you wanted to print this out. Now these men have no bottoms. So I'm going to use some washi tape. And I'm going to teach you how to cut the washi tape. When I want to move these men down in the layers palette, I can pull it down, or I can use the brackets and the command or the control on a PC to move them up and down. That drop shadow is way too big for washi. Let me close that so I can show you how I fix this. So if you have a big drop shadow that's too big, you click the little FX and that lets you bring it down. You don't need to bring down the opacity, but the distance and the size. And if you can copy that layer style and put it onto the other things. Paste layer style. And the tower is watercolor. We're not going to have a style on that. And same with the speech bubbles. Command T on a Mac, Control T gives you the bounding boxes. And now I can right click on it on the thumbnail and add the layer style. So I can use the same layer style on each one, and might do one more. Oh, it's up here. Paste the layer style. That could be a little bit smaller. So now we fixed that area, plus we made it look really, really cute. What else do you want to do to this page? We have a nice cluster. I wanted to put this little circle here because Christ is our cornerstone, and I thought that was a beautiful verse to use here. Again, let's use the layers thumbnail to apply a slight shadow. Now, one thing I'm going to do here, I usually don't do, is I made this tower go across both pages, but I'm going to show you how to fix that. Two things we need to do. First, we need to select everything on the outside to delete. And next, we're going to draw a rectangle, a white rectangle. If you hit D, you'll have the default color palette. Then we put white on top. And then we're going to draw the tiniest skinny rectangle right on top. And that fixes that. So now you'll have your two complete separate pages. And I'm going to add one more washi tape. Or you can straighten up the washi, cut the washi off, just like you would do. And to cut it, after you use the marquee, you use the Command X on a Mac and a Command Control on an PC to cut a rectangle. I'm floating in the window. I like this cluster that you could put here. Make it a little bit smaller. And then the Tower of Babel sign. You want to come to the front. And the Babylon sign. You could put on either side. Put a drop shadow on it. And you have room for a verse. And I'll let you decide what verse to put there, but put a drop shadow on that. And there you are. There's a page of a traveler's notebook. We've worked for the first time in Photoshop. You can print this out, cut it out, and place it in your traveler's notebook. If you want to share it online, you're going to use the crop tool. You could flatten it first if you wanted. And just crop around the sides to share online. Let me give you some advice here. If you want to print this out, first save it as a PSD, so you save all your layers in case you want to come back and move something like this, which I think needs to be closer to the men. Then before you save it as a PDF to flatten or to share, you need to flatten it. Because if you don't flatten it, if you just share it as a PDF or save it as a PDF, all the layers remain intact. And that's a problem because you're loading up your computer with big giant images with layers that you don't need to be doing. You should save it as a layered file in case you want to go back and make changes. But if you're just going to save a PDF, flatten it before you save the PDF. So that's all for now. I hope this was helpful to you, and I can't wait to see your creations. Do something a little different than I did. Use mine as an example, and I can't wait to see it in the class. If you don't do it in Photoshop Elements, this is a good layout for those of you who are cutting, who you might want to use some of these this layout as an example. See you next week when we study the patriarchs. Bye-bye.